Okay, guys, how's it going? So, I'm going through this MetalZone here. This is a good childhood favorite of mine because here I simply... This pedal, which y'all saw this video, I'm sure of. I traded this pedal in for the MetalZone because this pedal did not do me good as a kid. I had a Fender 1x6 amplifier. I mean, it was like this. Little practice amp. I bought a distortion pedal thinking it would help. It didn't because it was this distortion pedal. So I bought the MetalZone, and the MetalZone served me for years. Really, really good. The very first setting I used was in the loop. When you see it with the gate, it is not in the loop. Okay? I'm going to have this video moved after. I already did the demo. So I'm going to move it after, or move it before. So, long story short, the original settings are what I used on that amplifier to make it sound good. People think the MetalZone sounds really, really bad. And I have to say, it does not sound really, really bad. It can sound really bad because the EQ was crazy. The EQ was just way too much. Way, way, way too much. When you adjust those knobs. So that was the only setting I could get out of it to make it sound good. That being said, if you notice, the EQ changed. Okay? The first time I played it was the same EQ. You heard it was really bassy, not very much treble coming out of that at all. Or mids. I had to adjust the EQ because the EQ is actually usable when it goes through the loop. Which is crazy. I never knew this. I never knew this at all. I saw Ola's video on it and I had to do it for myself. And I have to say, putting this pedal through the loop is the absolute best thing you could ever do. Like, it is amazing. This pedal is incredible. When I traded that little 1x6, I sold all my pedals off. I got me a Marshall valve state with a 4x12 cabinet. I don't know what was in that 4x12 cab. I wish I had that cab today. Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. I know what was in it. It was an MG cab. No, it was an MG cab. Oh, it was so bad. Never mind. No. But anyway, regardless of that, I actually do wish I had the cab, actually. I wish I had the cab, because I'd rip those speakers out, put something good in it, but hey, I can't do that right now. So, all in all, what I would recommend for this, like, I would have loved to have run this pedal through that valve state. I think it would have sounded sick. I would have had a good setup then, but I didn't know. I didn't know back then. Who did know? I don't even think Ola knew back then, because obviously he hadn't released that video at that time. So, you know, there is that. But listen to this sucker. I'm going to play this for you a little bit, just to adjust some of the... So I'm going to start playing for you guys and just kind of tweak the EQ to show you. It's like... No EQ. Yeah. All trebles. All we need is mids, right? Just do mids. Okay. So, all in all, after all that playing around, just showing you what the EQ can do and all, and let's get it to a really usable, really good one. Back off that low end a little. Get that high end up a little. Add a tune there a little. Sorry. I found that this pedal, though, does lack one thing is... It has this little bit too much of a kind of a hissy or fuzzy thing for solos. So I never really found this pedal that great for solos, but... And that's probably what's wrong with some of the squeals there, too. They just don't sound quite right. But all in all, using this pedal for rhythms, oh, holy cow. You can't go wrong. There's not really much you can do to screw this pedal up whenever it's going through the loop. It is an incredible sounding pedal. It's incredibly versatile. Very, very versatile pedal. I never knew this pedal was that versatile. See, I had to dial in one single tone. That's the only usable tone that you hear at the beginning through the front of the amp. That's the only usable setting. It really is. There's not much more you could tweak other than that. Maybe you could just slightly adjust the knobs, but the knobs had to be within that vicinity of where they were at right at the beginning, with the equalizer being right around 1 or 2 o'clock for the low end. The high end there had to be somewhere between noon and 1, and then the middle frequency, well, is it the 200 or the 500? Whatever. The middle frequency, the top knob, had to be all the way off, and the mid frequency below it, the mid frequency there, had to be all the way up. I mean, there was just no room for... You couldn't have those any other way. So, the ones up here had to be set in stone. They absolutely... There was no choice. This had to be off. This had to be all the way on. No choice. These two knobs here had a little bit of play. Just a little bit. You know, you could move them just slightly. But they didn't have much more than that. There wasn't much more usability. Like... Unfortunately, there just wasn't. Ooh, that light has been glaring on that part. It says distortion. Sorry, guys. It would have been great if they sent me the actual good pedal. But I got this MetalZone. I got this 30th anniversary one. Wasn't supposed to be the 30th anniversary one. Supposed to be original, but they sent me this. For $100. Brand new, unopened. Now, I know I could have got the Wazacraft, but I wanted the original one from childhood. I really wanted the original one. Now, I love this look a lot better. I do, with the silver screw, and it looks classier. But for the video's sake, and for the fact that I got this one, brand new pretty much, almost brand new, it was mint condition, it said, has just the tiniest little chip right here that you can't even see on this camera, on the corner there, which I didn't even notice until I actually thoroughly inspected. I mean, look at the bottom. The bottom, clearly, this was not a used pedal. This was in the same setting that it's in now, probably. Someone did use this. It either sat in a booth for a long time trying to sell, or it was in a studio, like it is currently. This was brand new, unopened, so it didn't have a mark on it. Yeah, great Great pedal, actually. Super great pedal. I don't care what anybody says. You know, the MetalZone pedals became a meme. I get it, right? I get it. Because nobody really knew how to use it, and it was... the MetalZone shouldn't have had... Like, if they were going to release this as a pedal to go into the face of your amplifier, there shouldn't have even been an EQ setting, to be honest. I really don't think there should have been. They should have got rid of the EQs entirely. Should have been level and distortion. And they should have made the EQ stay that way. I think a lot of people would have been actually more happy with it. It would have been less confusing, and it would have been a one-trick pony kind of pedal. But I'm glad they didn't do that, because all in all, the fact that we know it can go into the loop and just be godly sounding. There's so much untapped potential in that pedal. I would have loved to have ran this through my valve state like that. I never even had the chance to plug it into the face of the valve state, so unfortunately, because I sold everything for that amp. And then I traded that amp and sold it and got a Bugera. I got the 6505 version or whatever it was. It was the 6161 or something like that, or 6162, 6262, something like that. I think it was the 6262 is what it was called. Got that. Then I traded that in for an actual, like... No, I sold it. And then I bought that 5153 100 watt for $300 at a pawn shop. Yeah, I did that. And I'll show you guys that amp later. My buddy has it, and I sold it to him. Shouldn't have sold it, but he needed it. He actually did need a good live amp, and he loved that amp. He was in a touring band at the time. I was not, and I was like, you know what, you need it. I sold it to him for cheap, too. I won't say what I sold it to him for, but I want to buy it back off him. And I'm going to make that proposal today because it's my child's birthday party, and he's going to be there. So I'm going to tell him that, hey, put a price on that amp. I'm going to buy it at some point. So either I'm going to buy it, and I'll shoot it out against these amps, or he'll let me borrow it. And my other buddy has a 5153 50 watt. He'll at least let me borrow that, and I'll shoot the amps out together. So, yeah, and he may even make an appearance on the channel. Who knows? One of them may. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be cool to talk about it and stuff, but that's for next time. This pedal, I wanted it through my valve state really bad. And, unfortunately, that never happened. Maybe I need to find a valve state and put it to rest and, you know, either be highly ashamed of myself for getting rid of it, or highly ashamed of myself that I took the time to plug a pedal into an amp that probably won't sound very good. Not that the valve state sounded bad, but that may be a bad combination. But we'll see what happens, right? That's the MetalZone, guys. That is it in the loop versus out of the loop. I would have shown you the EQ through the face of the amp. I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, I want to see. It's just bad. It's just bad, guys. It really... If you really need to be shown how bad it is, I don't know what to tell you, other than look at where those settings are. If you buy one, plug it into the face of your amp, mess with it all you want. Come back to this video, set it to the proper settings. And once it's at the proper settings, actually this is closer to the L. You want this pointed at the L of the equalizer. This one up top needs to be pointed at the Q. I remember these settings very well because that's what I did at childhood. This one, this top one off, the bottom one all the way on. It's that simple. That's simple. That's the settings that you want to make this sound awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. We got to 200 subs, guys. I think we can hit 1,000 here before the end of the year. I'm really hoping so. So, anyway, thank you all again, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.